Today is the second of 3 Sundays where the Gospel of Mark focuses on Jesus' identity and the implications for his followers and for the church. Last week, we heard Jesus clarify his identity as the suffering Messiah, whose way of rejection by others, of suffering and death on the cross, is the path to resurrection. Today, our first reading from the Book of Wisdom spells out the opposition of the wicked to the just one. To see if the just one be the Son of God, they will put him to the test and try his patience. Let us condemn him to a shameful death. It is an accurate description of what is unfolding for Jesus in the Gospel of Mark. In today's second part of a trilogy on Jesus' identity and its consequences, the Lord reiterates his prediction of rejection, death, and resurrection. But the disciples, perhaps still caught up in Peter's denial of the way of suffering and Jesus' rebuke to him, the disciples do not understand and are afraid to question Jesus. Back home in Capernaum, in private, Jesus shows his insight into his closest followers. "What were you arguing about on the way?" he asks. They remain silent because they'd been discussing about who among them was the greatest. It's not a flattering portrait of the disciples, typical of Mark's gospel. This time, there's no rebuke. Rather, Jesus gently teaches another implication of following him as a new Messiah. Being first means being last of all and serving all. And to model such behavior for these first followers and for the church to come, Jesus shows them a child and offers the teaching, "Whoever receives one child such as this in my name receives me, and whoever receives me receives not me, but the one who sent me." From this second revelation about identity and church, we have lots to ponder. Our take-home text might be simply our second reading from James. It's all about those human tendencies to selfishness, contrasted with the righteousness which is sown in the cultivation of peace. It's worth reading after we've shared the Eucharist, which gives us the strength to carry out Jesus' commands.